All right, we're starting our first climb of the day. With rain and cold in the forecast in Steamboat Springs that morning, day 2 started much later at 9 a.m. The gray and dreary conditions couldn't put a damper on the significance of the day, however, and the police escort the team had through Steamboat on our way out of town. And that was quite a visual sight. The escort certainly an enjoyable way to start day 2, and it was appreciated because the uphill climbing began shortly after we left town and on the way toward Vail and on to Minturn, a total of 96 miles and a brutal 6,000 feet of climbing. All right, video log continuing. We're at about mile 60 something, about 3/4 of the way done. A little more climbing to do and I feel a lot better. I really was before lunch thinking I wasn't sure I was gonna make it today, but after lunch and some downhill riding, I feel a lot better. Of course, at lunch we did some of the interviews with some of our first responders talking about what September 11th means to them, and kind of, you know, had to tell myself, suck it up, Buttercup, and doing a little better. So, got a ways to go. SHIELD616 2020, border to border.
Bottom elevator, the glass just flames exploded out the front of the World Trade Center.
Day 2's ride was also the 19th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, something that was not lost on the first responders on the ride and those of us riding with them.
You know, that's when I was starting my law enforcement career, so every day I look back at that, to those people that went running into the building with no disregard for what their safety was, and I like to live my life thinking that and go to work every day so I can be there to help somebody out. So.
You know, obviously everybody remembers the towers coming down and the law enforcement officers as well as the firefighters running into the building to save lives. Like Curtis was saying earlier, you know, we do that job every day to save lives, to make a difference. When I was 5 years old, I told my mom I wanted to be a cop, and I've stuck to it. And then 9/11 happened, and that kind of inspired me to join the military. So it's, you know, throughout that, I did 8 years in the military, and then got into law enforcement. And it's been, I like to call it like a life of service. I love to serve people, and never forget sticks with me. You know, I don't ever want anybody to forget it. And we're seeing some of the newer cops coming in that are younger, and we're younger during 9/11, and it's cool to mentor them and show them, you know, hey, this is why we're here, this is what we do, this is why we do what we do. And then my wife and I got married on September 11th. She was in the military as well. She's a law enforcement officer, and then obviously I was a military and law enforcement officer as well. So we kind of have that camaraderie, and 9/11 to us meant you know, obviously we kind of bonded over that. That's why she joined the military as well. And so we kind of, our lives have been centered around that date, and we don't want to ever forget. And the sacrifices that were made that day are incredible. The bravery that day was incredible.
So what I normally do on 9/11, for about 9 years now, I've participated in the Denver firefighter 9/11 stair climb at the Quest building. Unfortunately, I had to get canceled this year due to COVID. And it's a real meaningful event because they limited it to 343 firefighters to participate, and that's the number of firefighters that died when the towers came down.
It's interesting, over the years being a firefighter, my knees are kind of shot, so I've had shoulder surgeries, knee surgeries, and so I can still get on a bike and ride, and this is one way that we can support first responders that are still doing the job today.